have a message to all the white people out there who are watching my videos, specifically those who can trace their lineage back to the Crusades. First of all, I can't even believe that this needs to be said, but given some of the comments I'm seeing under my videos and posts on social media, I have now realized how much you have been lied to about your own history. Stop apologizing for the Crusades. Yeah, I said that. Stop apologizing for the Crusades. I mean, what exactly did you think happened that led to the Crusades? Do you just think that, I don't know, everyone was living peacefully and then all of a sudden one day random white Christian people woke up and decided to go murder Muslims? Is that what you think happened? The Crusades were a response to Arab Muslim colonizers trying to invade Europe. The Crusades were literally a response to jihad. Do you forget what happened to Spain? Do you not recall how Spain was conquered by the Arab Muslim invaders for 700 years before the Spaniards and the Christians were able to fight back and reclaim Spain? The only reason that you're not speaking Arabic and your women aren't wearing burqas is literally because of the Crusades. How do you think the Arab Muslim invaders conquered Persia, conquered the Persian Empire, and forced everyone to convert to Islam? Do you think they came with pamphlets and brochures? What, do you think they just went around knocking peacefully on doors? They came with violence, they came with bloodshed, they came with beheadings, they came with rape. They murdered everyone and anyone who didn't convert to Islam. They burned libraries. They destroyed temples. They even forced us to speak Arabic for 200 years until we were able to secretly revive our language, Persian. Did you know that we Iranians have been fighting back against the Arab Muslim colonizers for the last 1400 years, and we are still trying to decolonize from that invader colonial mindset and ideology? Do you see this man? That's not a crusader. He's an Iranian. This is Babak Khorramdin. He's an Iranian revolutionary leader from the early 800s. He was fighting the Arab Muslim colonizers who had invaded Persia 150 years ago, and he was trying to free Persia from the jihadis. Unfortunately, at the age of 40, he was captured by the Arabs and he was pretty much torn apart limb from limb. And yet, you know what we Iranians do? We celebrate him. Babak Khorramdin is one of the most important Iranian figures in our history. Why? Because he was fighting the Arab Muslim invaders who had invaded Persia 150 years ago. We don't apologize. We don't apologize. We don't justify. We don't make excuses. In fact, we're still fighting. We are still fighting to overthrow the Arab Muslim invaders and to reclaim our country from the Islamic dictatorship. So we have been fighting for 1400 years. Unfortunately, unlike you white people, we still have not been successful. If you need more convincing that the Crusades were a good thing and that the Crusades actually saved Europe from the Arab Muslim invaders, here is a 5-minute video from Dr. Bill Warner. Pay attention because this is kind of important.
Whenever you're dealing with an apologist for Islam or even a Muslim and you bring up jihad, almost immediately they kick back to you. Well, what about those terrible crusades? Why, they're the moral justification for jihad. I mean, we're just as bad as they are, so let's not talk about jihad, okay? Let's talk about the crusades. Well, what I would like to talk about here are facts. And it turns out I sat down and put together some work and I created a database of some 548 battles that Islam fought, jihad battles against classical civilization. And this aren't even all the battles. It really doesn't say much about Africa and India, Afghanistan and all that. It's primarily the battles against the classical civilization of Rome and Greece. So, 548 battles is a lot, and it's too much to even comprehend. So I created something which I call a dynamic battle map, in which you have a display of the Mediterranean, and a white dot means that this 20-year period, that's a new battle. So every time the screen changes, it's 20-year period. They then, colors white turn to red, and so you can see a history. This may seem a little confusing, but I think when you see it, you'll know exactly what I mean. And here it starts. Islam burst out of the Arabian Peninsula and immediately starts attacking the Middle East. And notice that it doesn't take long until they're crossing the.
So do you see here? Do you see how within, the span of just a couple of decades, Iran became conquered, right? That's jihad. And like I said, they didn't come with flowers and pamphlets. They came with violence, death, destruction, rape, and forced conversions.
Mediterranean and attacking southern France and Spain. Notice something here. Most people think of Islam, they think of Arabs, they think of desert, and yet here we see that Islam is projecting power throughout the Mediterranean.
Also, pay attention. Do you see Spain? At this point, Spain has been conquered by the Arab Muslim invaders. And again, every single red dot here, every single red dot is an instance of jihad. That is a battle that was initiated by the Arab Muslim invaders. Okay, so pay attention to these dots because we're then going to compare these dots of jihad versus the dots of the Crusades.
Notice how the little islands of the Mediterranean are getting hammered. The navy of Islam would attack coastal towns, kill, rob, rape, and then take slaves. So this whole battle map, as it unfolds, you're seeing slaves being taken. Over 1 million slaves were taken out of Europe into the Islamic world. That's something you don't think about much, but it's absolutely true. There were over 200 battles fought in Spain alone. And we also see, however, on the east coast in Turkey, that Islam is trying to break into Europe. Now, what's going to happen is, in Spain, this ongoing fight that lasted for 400 years, the Christians are going to push back the Muslims. But now then, what has happened over in the east is that Constantinople has fallen, and now then Eastern Europe is getting hammered. The jihad now comes to Eastern Europe. It's pushed out now of Spain. Northern Africa is now completely Islamic. The Middle East is completely Islamic. This is all jihad, relentless jihad. And why is it so relentless? Well, Muhammad was relentless in his jihad. And these people are good students of Islam, and so it's against the kafir, on and on. It was traditional that when the Sultan came to power, the brand new Sultan, he would immediately try to launch new wars because he was going to be noted in his Islamic history as to how well he fought against the kafir.
Okay, so, I like common sense. I also like to be critical. I use my brain, right? And I'm wondering, did Candace even fact check any of that? I mean, this sounds like plight. You know? Like propagandized plight. It sounds like the. I'm going to start calling them Arabs because that's what they really are. Arabs wanted clout. And they knew from watching Western mainstream media that we are all about trying to cure injustice and stick up for the underdog and promote the weak, and stick up for the voiceless. It sounds to me, and I don't know if you guys are looking at the current picture I have showing of the jihads for the last 1400 years. Still today. I'm just saying, like, it's still happening today. It's not like it stopped. It's still happening today. So who wants to dominate? Who wants to take over? Who is stealing land? Really? Did she fact check this? Lord have mercy. She's a Catholic. I hope she confesses when she lies. I hope she confesses when she exaggerates and makes things up and conflates things. And or is it conflating or is it inflating? Either or. I don't know which one it is, but it's one of them. And she does this every day on her podcast. Every day. Why does she hate them so much? I don't understand. Honestly, I don't understand. Like, okay, so later I'm going to be giving you guys a QR code. Now, I'm going to be giving this disclaimer again before I do that. Don't worry. But I'm giving a huge disclaimer before I show it because, first of all, y'all don't even know what's going to happen when you click on that, okay? When you know, QR code it and then go and find the link. I wasn't prepared, okay? I had thought, you know, it was gonna be like blurred vision, like blurred photos and videos and things, that it wouldn't be brutal. It was the most graphic, the most traumatizing, the most disturbing thing I've ever watched. Okay? I only watched 4 videos because I couldn't handle it after the 4th one. And that's because I was literally heartbroken. I only seen street surveillance cameras of that day. But it was graphic and it was not blurred out. It was graphic. And it broke me, so I couldn't watch anymore. And I feel bad because I should watch it to witness it so that it's like something that me as a person who lives in a safe country can see what will happen when this comes to our country, and it's already here, but eventually this is what will happen to our country. I mean, we live in the West, right? We live in the Western world. We're kind of sheltered away from that. I mean, we're a little desensitized because of, you know, horror movies and whatnot, and The Walking Dead really did a good job on the graphic stuff. But other than that, we've never seen something so real and incredibly graphic and incredibly evil. You know what I mean? So later when I show you that, I'm going to give you the disclaimer again, but seriously, I don't want you to just go and look and just to see if it's true. It's true, and I'm telling you, be prepared. Pray yourself up before even clicking, and make sure you're actually prepared for what you're going to see because it's horrific. And I would give more details, but I just can't because it's that bad. Okay? It's like worse than you've ever seen. Anything that we could have even imagined in the Western world, it's worse than that. Okay? Just letting you know. But anyway, we're going to get back to this video now because there's only a little bit left. And my My soul sister's coming up. Mira. I loves her. Okay? She she talks a lot like me. She has a lot of mannerisms that I have. So it was very refreshing to find someone like that. And also, we have the same chin. It disappears into our neck. But I think that's a British thing. Anyway, let's get back to the video.